Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Just Open It, the YouTube series in which I open recently acquired toys. My name is Russ. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you're a fellow toy collector or a fan of pop culture in general, please subscribe to my channel, Karaoke Fanboy TV. Every week I do open a recently acquired toy or collectible, and today I am opening, from the Turtles of Grayskull, Casey Jones. If you've been following my channel, I absolutely love this series of action figures, and I was very excited to find this entire wave at a Walmart recently. I'm just going to tear right into this guy after I enjoy his package a little bit. The box art is beautiful, as always. We have Casey Jones fighting some Mousers and Trapjaw, who's been turned into, what was it, Mouse Jaw, I think? With the sorceress in the background. I mean, it's just kind of mind-blowing that these characters are coexisting. Finally? I mean, they've certainly coexisted in our imaginations and on our toy shelves for decades now, but Masters of the Universe and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are certainly on my Mount Rushmore of franchises that I loved when I was a kid. Just toys, action figures in general that I've collected for seemingly my entire life. So again, to have them combined in this, I am as excited as I ever would have been as a kid. I did recently see a comment on a message board that kind of irked me. Somebody described the Turtles of Grayskull as a cash grab. That's the word they used. Words they used. And I just want to say this. Everything you buy is a cash grab. I mean, Masters of the Universe Origins, exploiting the fact that we adult fans might want to see those classic figures with modern articulation and sculpting and so on. That's a cash grab. Putting something you love on a t-shirt in a Target in the graphic tees section, that's a cash grab. Everything that is a hobby, a passion, something like this, the creators, its producers, these big companies are making them to grab your cash. So as long as Mattel's making the Turtles of Grayskull, they're more than welcome to my hard-earned money. I love these figures. I love this concept. I have some minor criticisms, but certainly among them is not that this is a cash grab. I think this was an inevitability. It had to happen so that young fans, I hope, are attracted to these characters. If you're a Turtles fan, maybe you're being introduced to He-Man. If you're a He-Man fan and you weren't ever really into the Turtles, I can't imagine that, but maybe this is a way to kind of get into this world, these universes. So I don't understand when somebody says something is a cash grab. That's the very nature of anything you buy. Nobody's making anything out of benevolence. Otherwise, these things would be free. I think the closest we get to something that would be benevolently made with a high quality is the Final Faction series that I've praised on my channel. That's an action figure series that's available at Dollar Tree of all places. The figures are $1.25 a piece. They have weapons packs and vehicles, unbelievably, all at $1.25 a piece. Beautifully sculpted, surprisingly stable, durable figures with some great detail. I'm looking at them on my shelf as I'm kind of looking off camera here at the shelf that they're on. If you haven't watched my videos about Final Faction, please do. If you haven't purchased a Final Faction figure, please do. You could literally get like 16 or 17 of them for the same price that one of these would cost. So I guess in that context, are these a cash grab? Yes, but they're not any more or less than figures that are on the pegs at retail right now. That Final Faction series is maybe more up your alley if you're thinking, well, I'd like something a little more affordable that's literally not trying to grab all my cash. That is a rant that is uncharacteristic of me on this channel, but it was just something that I was like, I don't understand the mentality there of a cash grab. I'll tell you what a cash grab is. A cash grab is having multiple versions of He-Man out there at one time, as we did a few years ago, and bursting the bubble on any interest in Masters of the Universe. That happened, I believe, because we had Origins, the Netflix series, the Masterverse line, the little vinyl figures. I can't think of what they were called right now. There was this sudden surge of Masters of the Universe stuff on the pegs at one time, and as a result of that, we saw a lot of stuff go on clearance recently. Figures are becoming online exclusive. This is pretty much He-Man's only representation on the pegs now, and it has to be in combination with the Ninja Turtles, which are hot thanks to the Mutant Mayhem movie and the Playmates renaissance at retail. So, yeah, I don't fault Mattel for doing this in the slightest. So with all of that said, back on Earth, Casey Jones fights baddies as a hockey-masked vigilante using whatever sports gear he could fit into his bag. Now that he's on Eternia, he loads up on Castle Grayskull's best battle equipment to join the fight against Krang and Skeletor. This is going to be an exciting open because I know he's coming with a bunch of weapons here. Casey Jones is one of my favorite figures from the original Turtles line, so I'm excited to see what he looks like here. Very clean removal off the packaging. I think this is Wave 3, so here's the Wave 3 mini comic. And the blueprint that comes with all of these figures. That's kind of the through line with the Origins series as well. That's indicative of the fact that you can interchange these parts and create, kind of your own unique figures if you want to. So, what am I looking at here? Kind of a bag of weapons. Okay. I recognize this spear right away. And is it really bound with these plastic bands again? I recognize this right away from Castle Grayskull's weapons pack, so that's super cool. We have a sword here. Kind of reminds me of Jitsu's sword, which would be orange, but that's silver. We get Casey out of here. He is strapped in as usual, and annoyingly so. Okay, he's out. Wow, this hockey stick is crazy. Look at the look at the spikes on that. Holy moly, that's wild. And in kind of a translucent green, too. I could see the light kind of coming through it. I don't know if that's picking up well on camera, but that's neat. And then his backpack, which has a bit of an upgrade as well. It's spiky and so on here. Let me see how's that going to attach to his back. So, I'm wondering, let me see if the instructions... Fill bag with battle accessories. The instructions simply tell me to put the weapons in the bag. Okay. Okay, I see here. It's got these two pegs right there, right? And all of these Turtles of Grayskull figures seem to have holes on their back like that. Usually that's like a shell shield that some of these characters have had. But in this case, this will accommodate his pack like so. I dig that. Easy, no problem. Okay, so this right here, I could snap a weapon into that right there. And let me see if depicted, yeah, it is the hockey stick that can go in this, these snaps right here. So, excited to see that. But first, let me just get the figure in here. It literally looks like Casey Jones just kind of raided Man-at-Arms Armory. And he got that, what would you say that is, a shin guard? I'm not sure. And that would be a sports term for Casey, so appropriate enough. Maybe my only criticism so far is considering all of these weapons he comes with, which is absolutely incredible, to not have another gripping hand here. So he's got kind of the Master's, open hand, which is neat enough. But if any figure warranted an interchangeable hand, which I'm not a fan of in the first place, it would be this one, so he can grip two weapons at the same time. So that said, his mask does come off. So you get his hockey mask here. And just slides right on there. He's got a little Casey Jones-esque smirk on his face. Very cool. Man, so far so good with this guy. He's pretty awesome. I'm gonna put his mask back on. I don't like the way he's looking at me. So, okay. That's back on. Let's get into this weapons pack here, because I see some things that are surprising to me. Including, I'd mentioned Jitsu's sword, so we have Jitsu's hand here. Looks like an infinity gauntlet when you look at it like that, and you could probably paint it. You could totally paint this to look like an infinity gauntlet if customizers out there were interested in such a thing. But it is a Jitsu glove. You have this mallet that I believe is a new concept. It's got a skull on it, so it looks, you know, Eternian. And then you have this green axe. And this peg on the bottom of the axe looks like it might be something you would stick into somebody's, like a trap jaw or a roboto kind of thing, and then that would become a part of his arm. But I don't think that's, you know, in any way a part of this figure. So, interestingly enough, on the box art, that looks like it would be a Fisto hand. But it is Jitsu's karate chop hand. So I'm going to put that on him. See how easily that goes on. And pretty easy. It's kind of a soft rubber there at its base. So that goes right on there. And that kind of justifies, I guess, the flat hand. But again, with all of these awesome weapons, how cool would it be to see him wielding, like, the sword and the hockey stick or something. But with that said, the rest of this stuff goes in his pack. The sword, the hockey stick snaps alongside here. See how easy that is. And it is pretty easy, no problem. The staff would go back there, but I'm just going to put that in his hand for now. Casey Jones holding this Castle Grayskull staff that we're all so familiar with, I know, if you're into He-Man and Masters of the Universe from that original 1980s toy line. This is awesome. He's a great figure. I mean, even if you weren't into the Turtles He-Man mashup, to have a Casey Jones with some interesting different weapons and this kind of articulation, you could remove all the He-Man stuff, and yeah, he'd still have the loincloth and belt that are very Masters of the Universe, but otherwise, this would be a great Casey Jones figure, just outside of this continuity, so to speak. But here he is, looking awesome. I mean, just for my own satisfaction, I want to see him holding this hockey stick. Because, man, this is a wild weapon. It's so Casey, and yet, so if you were like, look at that. How cool is that? Very neat. I'm excited to have him on my shelf alongside his brothers in arms and the Turtles, and facing Skeletor, Krang, and all the rest. This is a pinnacle of achievement, quite frankly. You got the turtle shell-shaped shoulder pad there. It's all coming together quite nicely in true Turtles of Grayskull fashion. So, very excited to have Casey and this entire wave. And thank you for watching this video. I'd love to hear your comments on my rant from earlier as far as, are these figures a cash grab? Am I kind of a rube for buying these with such excitement? Or are we all into this and that message board poster is in kind of the minority here? Maybe jaded by the issues with distribution we've had in some of these action figure lines over the past few years. I don't know. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear it. If you liked this video, maybe consider following me on Instagram as well at AmazingAZ Comics. I do post more about the comics and toys that I love. I also post about the comics and zines that I make. I'm a self-publishing cartoonist here in Phoenix, Arizona. I've created my own original superheroes. and I'm working on issue 51 of my mini comic, Amazing Arizona Comics. So I'd love to see you over on Instagram. Again, that's at Amazing AZ Comics. A follow there would be much appreciated. Tune in next time when I grab another unopened toy from the pile here in my living room and I say, you know what? Just open it. I'll catch you next time.